We're talking about the power of corporate prayer to bring through breakthroughs that we would not experience otherwise. Today I want to talk about the power through corporate prayer, praying with people, for people, to see God do an incredible thing, to change a city, to ultimately change the world. In Acts chapter 2, we read about the miraculous outpouring of the Holy Spirit on the day of Pentecost in such a way so that 3,000 people were baptized that day and the church was born. That's Acts chapter 2. The question is, what was happening in Acts chapter 1? Acts chapter 1, we find that the disciples, along with others, 120 people, were gathered in the upper room and then occasionally in the temple courts for worship in corporate prayer, praying together with people, for people. We read in Acts chapter 1 and verse 14, these all continue with one accord in prayer and supplication. They were gathered together in prayer for a week, and that prayer was so powerful it brought down the outpouring of the Holy Spirit on the day of Pentecost, and 3,000 people were baptized. If we want what they had, we got to do what they did, and what they did was a week-long intense time of corporate prayer for the outpouring of the Holy Spirit. You go on, and in verse 47, it says that not only were 3,000 people baptized that first day, but people were being saved and added to the church every single day after that. In fact, the gospel spread so powerfully that it went from 120 people in the upper room that 30 years later it had spread out from Jerusalem all around the Mediterranean area, and now it had reached 100,000 people called themselves Christians. That happened because of the power of prayer. You go back, people were getting saved every day, verse 47. You come to verse 42, you find the key to the breakthrough. It says they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching, to the fellowship, to the breaking of bread, and to the prayers. The prayers in the original language. What is that? Let's talk about the 3 times a day that Jews would pray. They'd go to the temple 3 times a day, 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 3 p.m. We see all those in the book of Acts. The Holy Spirit was poured out at 9 a.m. in the temple at the time of prayer. At noon, Peter wasn't in Jerusalem, but he went out to his rooftop at noon to pray, and he got the vision of taking the gospel to the Gentiles. Acts chapter 3, Peter and John went to the temple at the time of prayer, 3 p.m., and healed a man along the way. 3 times a day the church gathered. Whoever could, at least some of those times, every day, every week, 3 times together they prayed. They prayed with people, they prayed for people, and people were being saved every day. Never underestimate the power of prayer to save souls, to change lives, to reach a city, to change the world.